What do you think of when you hear the word drought? Some may envision a dried up lawn from a lack of rain, high temperatures, and maybe local watering restrictions. If you're a farmer, you may picture a poor growing season due to low soil moisture. A biologist, on the other hand, may define drought as when a river is too low for certain fish species to survive. If you work for a water utility like me, you may imagine a drought as when your customers' demand for water outpaces the available supply. The point being that droughts are defined differently depending on someone's relationship with water and how its scarcity may impact them. Calgary has experienced droughts in the past, but climate change is expected to increase their frequency and severity. Calgarians rely on the Bow and Elbow rivers for water, and in addition to already experiencing hotter, drier, and longer summers with lower river flows, the city's expanding population will only add to the demand for increasingly scarce water. And it's not only Calgarians who rely on these rivers. Many other municipalities, industries, and species do as well, and increased droughts will undoubtedly intensify the pressure on this shared resource, which makes building resiliency a top priority. But how do we build resiliency into drought response? As a project assistant for the City of Calgary Water Utility, I sought to answer this question by researching how to strengthen the city's drought response plan. Based on preliminary research, I knew that the drought response plan needed to consider a broad suite of watershed indicators that acknowledged the nuances in drought interpretation. This would help to ensure timely decision-making and effective communication to the community and regional partners. To build my strategy, I met with members of the city's drought response team to understand how they make decisions. The drought response team is much like a jury, who review evidence to reach a verdict, but instead of evidence, they review a suite of indicators to measure drought severity to declare what level of response is required. They review reservoir levels, river flow forecasts, and weather conditions, to name a few. However, with so much information, it is a bit difficult to prioritize what indicators are most important, especially when droughts may be defined differently by different people. This can be problematic, as delayed or unbalanced decision-making might result in a reactive response instead of a proactive one, which could put the reputation of the city at risk. To close this gap, I researched and developed a decision tool that integrates all the diverse indicators into a structured process to help them successfully decide on the response level required in a collaborative but also timely manner. I am hopeful that the implementation of this tool will support the city in building a proactive drought response that will strengthen adaptation to drought in the short and the long term. Integrating this holistic approach to the decision-making that acknowledges the nuances of how drought is experienced will help build resilience to drought impacts not only in the city of Calgary, but also in the wider watershed.